What is up, Sports Geeks? It's your host, Josh, here back with yet again another episode. And yet again, joined by my college basketball guru, Nick. This is our third episode in about an hour and a half here.
Yeah,
we are
knocking them out.
We are knocking these out here as we talk about now the West region, which is our final region to discuss here. So this is going to be interesting here. I do not think that this West region has as many teams that I think could win a Final Four game looking at this. But I do think they have a couple teams that could definitely compete to get to this Final Four stage. Obviously, the Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga is the first three. But I think that Gonzaga, there are a lot of blue bloods here. I do think Gonzaga has to get past TCU in that second round, which is not going to be an easy team to get past in the second round for a 3 seed. However, we'll start. We'll do this the same way we've been doing this, which, again, if you haven't seen our last 3 episodes, then make sure you go check those out. Make sure you subscribe as well. I see
like and subscribe.
There you go. You heard the man. I think only like 60% of you guys are subscribers. That means 40% of you guys are not subscribed. So go check that out. But we're talking about Kansas. We're talking about basketball here. Kansas comfortably goes past Howard, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like Howard's a bad 16 seed.
Horrible 16 seed. There's no doubt. Probably the second worst besides Texas Southern.
Yeah. Texas Southern's a joke too. They're 14-20, and we're able to escape in.
Crazy.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about teams that aren't even going to win a game. We're here to talk about teams that are going to win games, and I think Arkansas is going to win a game here. However, I do think they're going to get knocked off by Kansas in the second round.
Yeah, no, I think this is where all year we've been Arkansas. When are they going to start actually trending upward? When are they finally going to their boots on the ground and start winning basketball games? We thought they were going to do it with Kentucky. They couldn't. We thought they almost had it done with Texas A&M in the SEC tournament. They didn't. I think this is where they get it done. They got a really good matchup in Illinois. Most people are like, wow, this is going to be a really, really good game. I don't think it will be. I think it will be for maybe a half. And then Arkansas is probably going to end up running away with it, winning by 10, because, Illinois really hasn't done much as of late. Neither really has Arkansas, but I think Arkansas is just a better team, better younger team, better coach team. And I think they get themselves to the second round against Kansas, but I think that's the end of the road for Arkansas.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think even if Illinois is able to, I know it's only a 9 against 8, but I think it's a bigger upset than 9-8 for how Illinois has been playing. Even if they're able to upset Arkansas, I think Kansas coasts by them there. However, Kansas might have their work cut out for them in the Elite area in the Sweet 16. But I do think Kansas actually has a really, really comfortable road to the Elite 8 here, because here's my take in this bracket. I think VCU beats St. Mary's as a 12 over a 5 here. I think St. Mary's is a pretty soft 5 seed. VCU, we saw them just run through their conference.
Yeah.
In the A10, I believe, correct? Yep. So we saw them run through that. We saw them really dominate the second half against Dayton. I think VCU really comes out here and it comes out hot. And I think we see a VCU-UConn second-round matchup. And I think UConn probably gets the job done.
Yeah, this game caught my eye. And it caught my eye, I'm not going to lie to you, I think St. Mary's could win this easily. I don't know why it caught my eye that way, but I saw it. And I guess that's just because I watched VCU versus Dayton. And I'm going to be honest with you, Dayton controlled the whole game until about the last 7 or so minutes when they decided they wanted to go 0-15 from the field and close out the game on an 0-15 run and basically handed VCU the game. And I think it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup because you look at St. Mary's with Logan Johnson, Mahaffey, correct? Is that what it is?
I want to say yes.
You look at them, and he shoots the lights out of the ball. I want to say he's still 18, maybe 19 years old. And VCU didn't really have to worry about that yesterday. Dayton, I want to say, maybe made 3 or 4 threes the whole day. They just kept chucking up threes. They couldn't make it, weren't even close. I don't know. This is a really interesting matchup for me. I want to lean St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is the better team, but I could definitely see where you're coming from with it, though, where this could be a 12-5 upset.
Yeah, I will say this. I think that if St. Mary's wins and if VCU wins, no matter who comes out of that game, I think UConn is a significantly better team.
Yeah.
And I know we have talked about there's we could see the 4-13 matchup be split between the 4 seeds and 13 seeds. However, this is definitely going to be one that the 4 seed wins. UConn is just going to sweep Iona. I don't think it's close. And I do think that UConn is even able to comfortably beat St. Mary's or VCU. However, when they reach Kansas, I think this is, again, Kansas just matches up extremely well against this UConn Huskies team. I don't think that UConn really can give that huge of a fight. Obviously, it's a Sweet 16 matchup in March. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do think Kansas would be able to pretty much roll into the Elite Eight here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at it, Kansas, they obviously didn't have Bill Self the whole Big 12 tournament. He is back now.
Yep.
Most people thought it was a heart attack. It wasn't, thank the Lord. He just needed to get 2 stents put in because he was having a little tightness in his chest. But he is going to coach this whole tournament, which I think is huge for them, to be honest with you. Norm Roberts, who was came in and was an interim, he has head coaching experience. I'm not saying he's a bad coach at all, but he didn't recruit these guys to go play here. These players are here to play for Bill Self, and it's an inspiration that he's going to be back on the sideline for them. And I feel like that's just a whole other fuel to the fire to get them going, which I think I agree with you, is going to propel them to at least the Elite Eight.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. Now, I think TCU, it can pretty comfortably beat whoever comes out of this. I think we both picked Arizona State. I think TCU is an extremely talented 6 seed. And I think that they can coast by Arizona State. And even if Nevada were to win that game, I think they coast by them as well. Now, Gonzaga and Grand Canyon can light it up. So this could be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely could be an interesting game. You look at TCU and they're getting the winner of Arizona State and a Nevada team who doesn't deserve to be here. I'm going to say this now. It's not right what the committee did to Rutgers. You look at the stats and the splits between Nevada and Rutgers. Rutgers is within the top 40 of the net. Nevada is sitting around like a high 60s, like 67, 68. It's not right. You look at it. What did Nevada do better than Rutgers to get themselves in this tournament? Who did they play that was better? Rutgers is in the Big Ten. They got the win most people thought they needed against Michigan, and then played Purdue hard. So basically what the committee was saying is like, all right, Rutgers, if you want to get in, you have to beat Purdue, the 4th 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. That just makes no sense.
You have to beat them again, because don't forget that they did beat them earlier in the season. I'm completely on your side in this rant. Rutgers should have been in this.
The fact that Rutgers was, I want to say, the 4th team left off the list or something like that. It was Oklahoma State, Rutgers, North Carolina, and then Clemson. You're telling me that Clemson should be in that list, and you got Rutgers sitting right next to them? That's just not right to me. When I saw that, it didn't sit well with me. Because Rutgers deserves to be in this tournament, because I think they would have easily beaten Arizona State, and they would have given TCU a really, really good matchup.
Absolutely. I will say I think TCU can pretty comfortably win this game.
Yeah, they can beat
against whoever they play. Obviously, it's March. They're susceptible to be upsets, but I do see an upset coming in the TCU-Gonzaga matchup in that second round. I see TCU moving on to the Sweet 16 here to take on UCLA. To kind of get into that lower section there, I think Northwestern handles Boise State.
This game had me interested.
Northwestern is coming off of a loss.
This game really had me interested because I think Boise State's honestly just the more complete team.
The only thing that concerns me about Boise State is how good Northwestern is defensively, especially with their guards. When you have Chase Audige and Boo Buie, that's just dangerous to have 2 guards that good at defense that can control the pace, the tempo of a game as much as their guards can. It kind of just allows you to have to play into their favor.
Yeah, and I think that will end up giving Northwestern, the win and on to the next round. But I don't know, it just scares me. Northwestern has absolutely no post presence at all. I think their starting center and power forward are honestly jokes. They rely on Chase Audige and Boo Buie to literally get the job done for them, and that could end up being a problem. But I agree with you. I think that's a game to watch. But I think Northwestern will be able to get the win in the end.
Yeah, I think either team that comes out of that, UCLA pretty much rolls by. I think Jaquez and Campbell are just too much. too much for anybody to
And
handle.
you got Amari Bailey coming onto the scene, probably one of the better freshmen now in the whole class. I mean, he turned it up as of late. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, he has really turned it up. So I see a UCLA TCU matchup here, and then a UConn Kansas matchup on the top side. Like I said, I do see Kansas winning that, and I'm gonna ride with an upset here. I'm gonna say that TCU is gonna ride all the way to the Elite Eight and upset UCLA here. I do want to throw in a couple upset picks, so it's not just another 1-2 matchup in the Elite Eight. I'm gonna ride with TCU. I think Kansas gets in to the Final Four.
Yeah,
but I do think TCU can give a lot of teams here some real trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree when you look at it. You're going to have TCU Gonzaga in the second round. This is a really interesting matchup for me, a pretty good matchup to say the least. It's really going to come down to is can Eddie Lampkin, is he going to play? Is he going to be back? Is he going to play? Because I know he took a leave of absence. He had to deal with some family issues, some personal stuff. Can he play against Gonzaga? And can he guard Anton Watson? Because Anton Watson has been an absolute monster as of late. I mean, he is honestly the sole reason Gonzaga's playing as well as they are, because he's been averaging a double-double, I want to say, in the past 5 games. Not only can he beat you down low and body you down low, he can take you outside of the three-point line, dribble around a little bit, and then still drill a three as a guy who's 6'10", 6'11". It's really impressive. And I think, really it honestly helps Gonzaga that they got dropped to a 3 because with that win by Texas, because guess what? Now they get to be in the West. That's where they want to be. They want to be out that way. It gets them closer to home. And I think, this really does line up for Gonzaga to be going against Kansas for that right to go to the Final Four.
Okay. So do you think Gonzaga comes out on top, or do you think your Jayhawks come out on top?
I want to pick my Jayhawks out of bias, but I think Gonzaga is a more complete team than Kansas is.
Gotcha. So we have I have Gonzaga losing second round. You have them to the Final Four. That's going to be an interesting matchup to see here. I do have your Jayhawks in my Final Four. So now we have our Final Fours complete. I have Bama, Marquette, and then Houston.
We have the same left.
Yep, and then I have Houston, Kansas. So I do have 3 1 seeds and 1 2 seeds. So I know it's not a fun Final Four, but and I'm gonna have 2 1 seeds in the final because I'm gonna have a Houston Alabama final with Bama winning it all finally. But that final could be an absolute toss up.
I'm gonna go crazy with it here. So I have obviously the same left with Bama and Marquette. My right is going to be Miami versus the Zags to go to the championship game, and I'm going to take the Zags. And I think the Zags are going to play Bama for the right to be crowned the champion in Houston.
Do you see Alabama winning that game, or do you see Mark Few and the Zags come out on top?
I think the Zags finally get it. Every year they've been painted to be the team to win it. They've always been that 1 or 2 seed. They got the light on you. This year you're getting thrown in the back seat. You're getting put in the 3 seed, but you're getting put in a 3 seed where you're playing in the West. And I think that's big time for them because you look at the 1 through 4 seeds they get to deal with. Kansas, great basketball team, relies way too much on Jalen Wilson. Doesn't have a big man. How is KJ Adams going to be able to guard Drew Timme and Anton Watson?
Right.
I don't think he will be. I think he'll get in foul trouble. You look at UConn. UConn kind of is another team that relies on the 3. They're not shooting it well, or they're not playing really good offense. They're not good on the offensive end. Anybody can beat them. You look at UCLA. My big thing with UCLA is injuries. They're another team. They've been riddled by injuries. They lost Jalen Clark, probably up there for Defensive Player of the Year. Right now, they don't have a Dem Bona. He hurt his shoulder. He didn't play against Arizona. They believe he's going to be back, but you never know with some type of shoulder injuries.
Right.
And then you look at a team like Gonzaga. They don't have any injuries right now. They got knocked off the 2 seed line after they beat the crap out of St. Mary's.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like all the stars are aligning for them to be there. And I think they could get the job done here. I really do.
You do make a really good case for that here. And if they are able to get past TCU, who knows what they're going to be able to do. Obviously I think TCU is going to knock them off, but it's going to be a great game. Any closing comments here as we wrap up the West? I know this one's been a really quick one too, but we're really flying through them now.
Yeah. For me, really, no. My only main point for the West was, Rutgers. Obviously, that was a main point of mine that I wanted to get across. In that UCLA matchup against UNC Asheville, watch out for Drew Pember, transfer from Tennessee. I think obviously he's not going to. They most likely won't win, and I don't think he could carry it by himself. But Drew Pember versus Jaime Jaquez matchup would be a great matchup to watch. Another one, watch out for Boise. I think people are kind of sleeping on Boise. They ended up losing to Utah State, blew a lead to Utah State. They're up 10 at half. Rice, the coach's son, I think he's really good. He's versatile. He can shoot the three. He can also get you down low and get some tough buckets. And I think you really have to hone in on what can Northwestern's guards do with Chase Audige and Boo Buie. Are they going to be enough to carry Northwestern into that second round against UCLA?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can promise you this, Northwestern's bigs are not going to do that.
No, their bigs last year were leaps and bounds better with Pete Nance, and now they're just, I don't know. I get no interest from it all.
If this Northwestern team still had Pete Nance, they'd be very, very dangerous. But
yeah. Instead, him and his North Carolina Tar Heels decided to decline a bid from the NIT because they believed they were too good for the NIT.
I apologize about that. My headset died there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. But I do think that's everything we had, luckily. So despite the little delay there, this has been the Sports Geeks podcast. They play, we talk. Thanks for watching, guys.